Lies. Lies.
It's me. Who knows pets?
That's an easy one.
I have a chicken and a dog and a fish and a cat, and I've had a horse. My sister has ducks.
I grew up with pets.
Who is a better dresser?
Hello, I'm Philip Sneed, President and CEO of the Arvada Center for the Arts and Humanities. We're in the final month of our Reignite the Arts campaign. Thank you to those who have donated and helped us recover from funds lost due to the pandemic. Your support has kept our hope alive and continues to inspire us to create more arts programming. Thank you. You might remember a few months ago, we released a video featuring 2 employees who found love at the Arvada Center, Jesse Page and JC Williams, who were married last fall. This week, we're featuring 2 more employees who found friendship at the Arvada Center. Corporate Relations Manager Brenna Clendaniel and Advancement Assistant Sophia Koop met 3 years ago when they started working together in the box office. At the time, both women were recent graduates with degrees in arts administration and a passion for theater. When they first met, they viewed one another as competition, but they soon realized that their common interests brought them together rather than dividing them. Soon they were inseparable. As they worked together and encouraged each other, both proved to be exemplary employees, and both were eventually promoted to work in the development division of our advancement team, where they continue to support each other.
I'm Sophia Koop, Advancement Assistant, and I've been at the Arvada Center for 3.5 years.
I'm Brenna Clendaniel, Corporate Relations Manager, and I've been at the Arvada Center for almost 3 years.
What do you like about your job? What I love about my job is that sort of while there is routine, there's the standard things I do every single day, whether we're in the office or not. I've set a process when I get up in the morning to make coffee and to sit down and process donations for the day. It gives me so much happiness to see the money that comes in, but to see people who went onto our website or made a call to make a donation just to the Arvada Center and the sweet notes that everybody adds with their donation, it truly gives me hope. We'll be able to reignite the arts and that we will be able to move forward and continue to thrive because there's people who support us. We're not doing this for nothing. We're doing this for something, and what we're doing this for is the people, both the employees, because we love what we do, but all of the patrons who come in and take classes here. Like, we're doing it for you, and it warms my heart when someone makes a donation or shows that they support in keeping us alive and keeping us here.
The box office is like really the unsung heroes of the Arvada Center.
We both worked part-time in the box office, so it was nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of when we were looking at full-time jobs.
It just kind of gives you a different appreciation for how much is going on here at the center.
But our journeys were very different. She ended up moving into a new position before me because work is such a big part of our lives, especially during COVID, because we're working from home and everything like that. You know, it all sort of starts to mesh together. My house was sort of crazy at the time, and working from there wasn't necessarily going to be the best option for me. So I lived at her house for a week. We would sit at her dining room table and we would work together. I mean, Brenna's truly made me a better person. She's dealt with all of my sides.
She cares so much about me and what I'm doing and the center and what we're doing. Just nice to have her there.
So I grew up in Lakewood, Colorado to 2 wonderful parents, and I have an older sister. My parents actually met when they were performing with Ringling Brothers' Barnum Bailey Circus. My dad was a clown and my mom was a showgirl who also rode elephants and did some aerial work. They moved around a lot. My mom ended up getting a job as a flight attendant, which brought them to Denver. That's what my family did. It's what they enjoyed doing, and eventually, to this day, my parents both don't work in the arts anymore. but it was sort of ingrained in me. But from a young age, I was put into dance classes because my nickname growing up was Squirmy. I couldn't sit still. Doing a couple small community theater shows growing up, and then a different performance side of me is I was part of the Westernaires, which is a precision-mounted drill team. So performance on horseback. So you sort of take that whole element of being in front of people and putting on a presentation and then add a 2,000-pound animal underneath of you that you have to control while you're doing all of it. So big smiles, I always wore my big fancy jewelry. In high school, I tripped and fell off a curb and I hurt my leg and ended up in a walking boot and crutches and a wheelchair for like a year and a half and getting surgery. And so it really cut back. I couldn't dance the same anymore. I couldn't move, so I started student directing, and I thought that was what I liked better. And then college helped push me from that directing into the more admin work. So I was actually the first person to graduate college in my family that wasn't from Clown College. The only degree my family had was from Clown College.
So I was raised in Arizona, a small town just southeast of Tucson. Vail, Arizona is what it's called. I have an older sister as well. My dad worked in banking and finance, and my mom worked in my school, actually, growing up. I really discovered the arts when I was in middle school. I decided to audition for Annie Jr. in 6th grade. So fun. I got to play Pepper. I was the bully. I was pretty much always just kind of drawn to the arts. And in college, my dad passed away when I was a sophomore in college from cancer. And so theater is really what kind of brought me back to school. And I had such a good community with my classmates and just with the people around me who were there supporting me. And so I just think theater helps you process grief in just such a really powerful way, both performing it, but then also just getting to watch it and getting to see stories being told and just how people's lives kind of progress. And so it just really solidified it for me at that point that like the arts were really important and that I wanted them to be part of everything I did. And grief is a weird thing just because you're never truly over it and it's never truly gone. But I think being a part of a community of people who are just very empathetic and people who are always good at listening. There's just a lot of listening ears and a lot of people who are open to hearing about your struggles, I think, is just something that's really powerful. It gives you more opportunities to talk about it. In All My Sons, at the end, there's just this really traumatic thing that happens, and when I was watching it here at the Arvada Center, it's just like, it gives you that moment where you can relate to someone. Even on the stage, I could relate to the people who were going through this traumatic thing because it was something similar to what I did. The arts just create that community for you, whether you're looking for it or not.
As we continue through this final month of our fundraising campaign, think about all the moments you've had at the Arvada Center with your loved ones. Think of the memories you've created with your significant other, your friends, or family members. If you could put a value on those memories, I hope you'd say that they're priceless. If so, please consider supporting the Arvada Center with a donation to Reignite the Arts.